Hello friends,
Good evening, acquaintances.
I am Jamethes,
And I'm Bendleforth.
and we are here tonight with, of course, the Stoicast, the world's #1 Stoic-based podcast. We're gonna bring you. We've got some teachings. We're gonna go over a few Stoic methodologies.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about a few Stoic topics. We're gonna answer a few questions from the public.
Of course we are.
And we're going to stoically just get into many things.
Of course. And tonight's book, of course, will be Letters from a Stoic by Seneca.
Of course, yes.
That'll be tonight's focus. Now, that won't be the only time that we ever cover this book, because there are many chapters, many fantastic teachings within this book that we can use. So we will come back to this book again and again, and maybe even again one more time after that, potentially. So we will, we're going to cover off Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. We're going to cover off Discourses of Discourse by Epictetus. Yes. We are going to cover off the Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. And Epictetus did, of course, have a very condensed version of his discourses called the Enchiridion.
Yeah.
And we'll be going through that as well. So we will do all of them multiple times. We will cover off, at some point, maybe even more modern Stoicism, like...
Pigliucci.
Pardon?
Pigliucci.
Yes, Pigliucci, yes. And also, of course, Bendleforth, because sometimes I write down Stoic things in my phone. Which is going to be like the Neo version of the Meditations by Marcus Aurelius when someone hacks the SHA 512 encryption on my phone, in the future, of course.
Yes.
Aliens, and 4D.
I think I'm really looking forward to hearing some of your Stoic teachings in the future, actually, because I think we need a more modernistic approach to the Hellenistic philosophy of Stoicism. However, today, yes, you are correct. We will be looking into Seneca's letters to his good friend Lucilius.
Lucilius, and there was nothing Lucili about him, was there?
No, there was nothing silly about him at all, or loose.
No, he was very tight. It's what Seneca said anyway.
Well, I feel like some of his stools may have been a bit loose from hanging around with Seneca so much.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that does happen when you do anal sex with Seneca.
Yeah, and Seneca, as we know, Seneca,
yes. Yeah. He also does that. That's what I meant, not anal sex with Seneca. No, that was Marcus, who enjoyed his slave boys and talked about it quite frequently.
Very frequently. Can I just, before we start, point out...
Of course.
We've devised a very mild and stoic background tune for you all.
We have.
It's on the D major scale. D sharp major.
D sharp major.
Yes. And it's because... We're going to be sharply dealing with some very ripe topics.
Mm-mm. Yes, we are. We are indeed. There will be many sharp and maybe even some flat topics, but there will be a preferred indifference for all of them.
Yes. Can I also say that thank you all for listening to the world's #1 Stoic podcast. We are sorry we haven't had a chance to record. However, we have finally got access to our account again, and we will be uploading more frequently.
Yep.
We're looking to get a Spotify sponsorship sometime soon.
Yep.
But for now, let's get into let's have an extract from Seneca's Letters from a Stoic, if you would.
I would. So we'll go from the start of the book, which is letter 2.
Are we going to do sort of a letter, or are we going to do a paragraph and then discuss, or should we just play it by rear?
We'll play it by rear. We'll read a small section, and then we'll just kind of discuss it. So here we go.
Okay.
I guess I will determine the length of this section, and then we can discuss.
Okay.
Judging from what you tell me and from what I hear, I feel that you show great promise. You do not tear from place to place and unsettle yourself with one move after another. Restlessness of that sort is symptomatic of a sick mind. Nothing, to my way of thinking, is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company. Now, that is the introduction to letter 2, the first letter of the book.
Okay.
And I think it's a fantastic start, really.
What do you feel about what... So, essentially what he is saying is it's symptomatic of a sick mind to want to move from place to place. And I personally believe what he is alluding to is that if you feel the constant need to move around, then you're not truly at peace.
You can't be content with who you are and where you are. And this harkens on to other lessons from Seneca and from Marcus and from Epictetus, who Epic teaches us that if you are someone who constantly has to go away on holiday and to different places to try and escape what you feel is wronging you, then your problem there is that you are dragging around the very thing that wrongs you, which is your state of mind.
Yes.
So no matter where you go, you'll be bringing that sick state of mind with you that finds complaint in everything and does not find peace in the life that you've been dealt. So travelling from place to place is not something that's ever going to cure you. Some people like to think it's going to make them enlightened and a cultured person, and maybe you'll learn a bit about, the Romans, for example. If you go to Rome, or you might learn a bit about Greek culture. You may.
You could learn that at home,
but you could learn that through the internet very easily, or through books, or through whatever means you want. So, but you will never, through becoming cultured, you will never learn to be comfortable in your own skin and be able to accept the hand that life has dealt you.
Yes. So do you think that what Seneca was alluding to in that is it is better to work on the mind and the being regardless of location than the location?
I think he's just saying have a sit down.
Yes. And
that's fine.
Is he saying have a sit down and a fiddle?
Sometimes you do have to have a small fiddle to be fine, and that's fine too.
Yeah.
Preferred indifference for having a fiddle when you're sitting down. But you don't need to be in Rome to jack yourself off, so it's fine.
However, Diogenes,
I've got a picture of him up on the wall.
I've got some Diogenes-based things to talk about later, but I'd rather do it off the air because it's about my waning mental health.
Oh.
But Diogenes is famous for masturbating in the street.
Wow.
And someone came up to him. It may have been Richard the Great. I think that's a person.
Was it King Alexander, by any chance, who asked him about why... Who tried to offer him a great life, and he told him that the only thing he wanted him to do was to get out of the sunlight?
Yes. He said that, and then he was jacking off, basically, and he said, if only rubbing my stomach would make me feel as satisfied with hunger.
Yes.
Which is basically,
But what he could have done was jacked off and then just opened his mouth above it and just kind of...
Seneca!
Did Seneca just pop in there and cause some laughter? Well, Seneca was well known for creating laughter outside of his stoicism. But Diogenes could have just, bent over, popped his legs back like this. You can't see it, of course. Jamethes can see me popping my legs.
Yes, he is throwing his legs up into the air. And Ben is now
down on the end. Bendleforth.
Bendleforth is masturbating an imaginary penis while his legs are splayed.
Akimbo, and into my mouth. And then
yes.
He could have, at the same time as rubbing his penis, rubbed his tummy whilst the ejaculate shot into his mouth, and he could have nummy, and he would have gone down, and he could have rubbed his tummy and gone satisfied.
I believe, yes, he would have been satisfied, and I think he probably would have also said nummy, nummy.
Yeah.
Because, as we know, cummy is nummy.
Cummy is nummy.
So, yeah, I feel like some people believe the grass is always greener. However, just because you've moved to Australia and you are looking for yourself, unfortunately, 99% of you are going to find a twat.
Yes, because 99% of you are twats.
Yes, so to be honest, the only advice I can give is don't go soul searching or looking for yourself, because you're going to be very disappointed with what a cunt you are.
Yeah, exactly. You should probably just commit suicide right now.
Yeah.
Do yourself and everyone around you a favour.
Marcus Aurelius and Socrates was a great believer in committing suicide if life got a bit hard, and I can only back that up.
Yeah. Seneca mentions it, Epictetus mentions it, and Marcus says that if you are unable to bear your life, that you can stoically choose to end it. And to be honest, that's commendable.
It's a common theme with Stoics, and to be honest, it's true. If work's difficult and your boss is trying to get you to do things, and this is some sage advice, turn around and say, if you try and make me do these things, I will kill myself. And you probably won't be made to do them.
No, exactly.
You'll probably get some paid leave.
You probably will get some paid leave, yes.
So on that section, I believe I agree with Seneca.
Judgments.
Although I agree with Seneca, I'm going to have to remain indifferent.
Yes, I also will remain indifferent to passing any sort of judgment on this topic.
Yeah, judgment will be reserved.
Yes, like, if we're talking about, like, reserving a Steam Deck, then it's going to be a long time before my judgment ever comes through. Mm-hmm. Probably never.
I have also reserved the Steam Deck, and I've even sorted my overdraft out so that once the Steam Deck's available, I can afford it.
Excellent.
Putting my personal life in jeopardy, but it's okay because computers come first.
They do, yeah.
May I do a reading?
Of course. May you.
So I'm going to go for letter L111.
Ooh.
I'm not sure what that means, but I think it means 13? No, that's X, isn't it?
X is 10. Ali's going to be
20?
Well, C is 100. Ali's...
I doubt he's wrote 1,000 letters.
No, it's going to... Al... Don't know. Doesn't matter. Maybe 30.
Can we Google
30.
Bixby? Right. Bixby! I think Bixby's off. Bixby!
Seneca's just popped in, making chuckling noises behind us.
It's okay. It's letter Lee anyway. Lucilius. I wonder whether there's anything I couldn't be persuaded into now. He's obviously in a dark place. Probably some kind of scat porn. After letting myself be persuaded recently into taking a trip by sea. He's very upset that he's had to go on a boat.
Yeah, well, I also hate the beach, so I fully understand. I mean, preferred unindifferent towards the beach.
Can I just point out, I really like the fact that he's very upset that he's had to go
outside. Seneca's popping in.
Sorry, guys. Seneca
has making us pop
in.
Off.
He's embodied us and made us laugh. So
he possesses us quite a lot.
We've got a Ouija board and we do spectre him away. We've got a Ghostbusters box.
Yeah, we've got a Ouija board.
We've got a Wario board. Seneca.
Oh god, I think Epic might be behind him, fucking pulling them laughter puppet strings.
I think Epic is. Epic, can you fuck off, you fucking lame Lego?
Marcus is behind there, fucking a stable boy.
Yes, I like the fact that Seneca is... Not only is he upset about the fact that he's had to go on a boat, he started this letter talking about how upset he is that he's had to go on a boat.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Seneca... So he... Remembering the fact that he's very upset, the following sentence is, the sea was quite calm. So
good.
He's very upset that he's had to go on a boat. However, the sea's not even very rough.
No.
When we cast off.
Seneca!
Sorry, everyone. Okay.
Popping in.
I think it's time for a recomposition session. It's where we have to recompose.
Breathe in.
Breathe
and
out. Do the Luigi board.
Ooh, Luigi!
Fuck off, Seneca.
He's gone. He's fucked up. He's gone.
And go into Wario away, Epictetus.
Wario!
Okay,
there we go, it's gone.
We are clear of all ghosts. I'll start from the beginning. I wonder whether there's anything I couldn't be persuaded into now, being as sad as he is, after letting myself be persuaded recently into taking a trip by sea. The sea was quite calm when we cast off. The sky certainly heavily overcast. I can see why he was upset now. There was a bit of clouds. With the kind of dark clouds that generally break into a squall or a downpour. But in spite of the uncertain, threatening skies, I thought it would be perfectly feasible to make it across the few miles from your Parthenope over to Puteoli. I think that's a place. And so, with the object of getting the crossing over quicker, I headed straight for Nisus over the open water to cut out all the intervening curves of the coastline. Now, when I had got so far across that it made no odds whether I went on or turned back, first of all, the smoothness which had tempted me to my undoing disappeared. There was no storm as yet, but a heavy swell was running by then, and the waves were steadily getting rougher. I began asking the helmsman to put me ashore somewhere. He couldn't handle it. He kept saying the coast was a rugged one, without a haven anywhere, and that there was nothing he feared quite so much in a storm as a lee.
Have a haven on the coast.
There was no haven.
You couldn't go to haven.
There may have been a Butlins, but it doesn't say.
But no haven.
There's no haven. No.
Butlins or Pontins.
I think there is a Pontins. Yeah.
Oh.
He kept saying the coast was a rugged one, and without a haven anywhere or a Butlins. or Opontins that there was nothing he feared quite so much in a storm as a lee shore.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if that's...
Is that another holiday park?
I don't know if it's a lee shore or a thring shore. I was far too bad in a way, though. I was in far too bad a way, though, for any thought of possible danger to enter my head, as I was suffering the torments of that sluggish brand of seasickness that will not bring one relief. The kind that upsets the stomach without clearing it. So I put pressure on him. I think he put a few weights on him.
So he felt nauseous, but he wasn't sick.
Yes, basically.
He put some weights on him, yes, from the Rome gym.
Yeah. I put pressure on him and compelled him willy-nilly. I think that's when you put your willy-nilly in the bum.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you kind of whoop.
It's like
willy-nilly. Willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly to make for the shore. He basically is now pestering the helmsman to drop him off because he doesn't want to take the short journey to in the calm sea with the very clear waters.
He's a very stoic person, as we can see from this. He's extremely angry that he's gone on a calm boat ride somewhere idyllic. I mean, I can only appreciate how angry he must be feeling right now, having gone on a boat where you're not going to get sunburnt, get skin cancer. You're just going to have a nice, calm drifting across a few miles of water to a destination that's probably all right as well. Well, if you're a stoic, then your mile should be all right, shouldn't it? Because everything should be all right if you're a stoic, because you just accept the hand that life dealt you.
It doesn't sound. I'm sort of surprised at how upset he is that he has to take a small boat ride, and that he's actually. It's akin to sort of flying from London to Ireland and then halfway across Wales going into the pilot and asking to be dropped down.
Ejected out of the plane.
Because you're having a good flight with no turbulence.
Well, Seneca popped in to tell us off for laughing at his very unstoic, viewpoint on.
Well, if he was here
thoughts.
now, I would love to. I don't know if you want to pretend to be him, and I can pose some questions.
Let me get the Seneca. Seneca.
Hello, Seneca.
Hello, James.
How are you?
I am, I would say, medium.
I've just got one question for you, if that's okay.
Of course.
Sorry for bringing you into the future.
It's fine, I can accept this.
I read one of your letters where you had a short boat ride.
Yes.
It was clear waters and you only had to go a few miles. I can see it's already upsetting you. And you asked the helmsman to drop you off midway because you couldn't make it to the other side.
Now listen here, Jamethes. That boat ride was nothing. There's nothing small about that boat ride.
Okay. What was so bad about the clear water boat ride a few miles? It's Seneca.
Just imagine the calmest piece of water you can imagine ever.
Okay.
Now imagine putting a boat onto that and seeing the ripples cascade out as the overcast sky falls down upon you oppressingly.
Okay.
And you wonder if you'll ever make it across this lake alive.
Okay. So, I think I'm understanding. Are you saying
the ripples? It was just,
the ripples?
There weren't twirls, there were ripples along the water. Lots of them. Look, don't fucking laugh at me.
I'm not laughing.
All right.
I'm not laughing.
Be fine if it was a plane, Jamethes. But it wasn't. It was a boat, and boats are scary, okay?
I feel... So, okay, I
just
think
fuck off.
Right, I'm going to Ouija board you away. So we've sent Seneca off. So essentially, I don't know if you could hear that.
No, what happened?
He got very angry.
Did he?
About me asking him.
That's not very stoic of him.
He's not very stoic. I still don't really know why he was so upset about that boat ride, but I guess that's one for the ages. Maybe he was angry because the sea was so clear and calm, the boat was disrupting that.
Yes, that must be it.
That must be it.
Good old Seneca. Doesn't let us down, does he?
He doesn't, no. Thoughts?
I'm going to reserve judgment on this
Okay.
and remain indifferent to it.
Would you like to?
Go on then. What minutes are we up to?
We're up to 20. We'll do a half an hour episode.
We're doing half an hour.
We're doing half an hour. We'll do them in half an hour episodes until Spotify give us our
100 million like they did for Joe Rogan.
Yep, I mean, and they gave fucking Keemstar like 50 million to do a podcast where basically it just is horrible to people. So,
well,
maybe we should do that.
Well, maybe So, back to letter 2, the next paragraph.
Okay.
Let's do it. Let's do this thing, as the Stoics would say, probably. Be careful, however, that there is no element of discursiveness and desultoriness about this reading you refer to. This reading of many different authors and books of every description. You should be extending your stay among writers whose genius is unquestionable, deriving constant nourishment from them, as if you wish to gain anything from your reading that you will find a lasting place in your mind. To be everywhere is to be nowhere. Ooh. People who spend their whole life travelling abroad end up having plenty of places where they can find hospitality, but no real friendships.
Ooh.
The same must needs be the case with people who never set about acquiring an intimate acquaintanceship with any one great writer, but skip from one to another, paying flying visits to them all. Food that is vomited up as soon as it is eaten is not assimilated into the body, and does not do one any good. Nothing hinders a cure so much as frequent changes of treatment. A wound will not heal over if it has been made the subject of experiments with different ointments. A plant which is frequently moved never grows strong. Okay.
I think, okay, so what I'm gleaning from that is, he is saying, if you are, in quotes, well read, e.g. you just read a lot of books, it means nothing. What you want to do is pick a few philosophers, like ourselves do.
The three greats.
The big three. And really get to know the teachings, rather than just jumping from book to book to book to book. A plant, as he said, can't grow if it keeps moving pots. A treatment can't be made if you keep changing medications, unless, of course, you're going on the dark web and you're doing a little bit of coke, bit of Xanny, bit of Kogo.
Bit of all of them, yeah, and those will make you grow or die. Fingers crossed, die. But it's right, though, and it's mentioned in, again, other Stoic teachings. Seneca himself mentions this later on.
Epictetus also. Epictetus
mentions it. I can't recall if Marcus Aurelius directly mentions it, but it does allude to the fact that if you like to learn lots of different things, it's almost a sickness of you're learning for the sake of learning. You're not learning to actually better your understanding of anything. It's so you can regurgitate facts like an encyclopedia, which in today's age especially is irrelevant, because why would you ever need to regurgitate something that way when you can just Google it?
Very true.
We live in an age now where you don't need to actually remember specific details, because, well, Einstein himself said, why would I ever remember something when I can just look it up in a book? What you need to learn is the way to access the information that you need to solve the problems of life.
Yes.
And with things like Google, your brain now works better as an indexer to remember where to look for that information. So the information itself isn't stored in your brain, but what's stored in your brain is the information about how to access that information. So when you use something like Google, you will learn how to use over time. I certainly have learned that apart from just Googling a specific subject, you learn the right kind of keywords to use. You learn how to use certain modifiers on that search, such as the minus key before a word to exclude words. So if you're searching for something in particular and you're finding a lot of results for something different that you don't want, you can remove those results by using the minus key, the minus letter before the actual word that keeps on appearing.
So you could put in quotes 45, 55 and then do minus Caucasian, for instance.
Yes, exactly. Yes, you could find non-Caucasian 45. Oh, Seneca. Or if you need to find an exact quotation, such as if you're looking for a lyric for a song, and maybe you don't know what the song is called, but you've got a lyric stuck in your head, you can put quotes around that lyric in the Google search, and it will look for results that contain directly those exact words and bring them back to you. So you're more likely to find the information that you need. And Google search and many other search functions like DuckDuckGo is one that I use a lot.
Yes, I use that too on tour.
Yes, I use it on the new Firefox, which I actually got rid of Chrome. I use Firefox now because
Are you a Foxer?
It doesn't track anywhere. Like when I found out how much Chrome tracks of you, it's tracked my location for the past 10 years.
Has it really?
Everywhere that I've been in the past 10 years, so I've deleted everything, and I've gone over to Firefox to have no digital footprint because
I've gone onto Edge, and I don't just mean jacking myself off slowly for 12 to 16 hours.
I hope you also still do that. However.
Of course, I'm on hour 17, and later on I'm going to explode like a fountain into Amy's eyes.
Excellent.
But yes, there are people. I mean, I definitely know of at least one person who spews various teachings that they think they know and pretend to be verbose when really they're empty-headed. So yes, you do need to really focus on one or two things that count and learn them well and grow and take them in.
Yes, take them in and become your teachings.
As you say, get good at Google. Don't just Google.
Exactly.
I think that's what you were saying.
It is, yeah. I think that's what Seneca was trying to say as well. It's use Google properly. I'm pretty sure, paraphrase, that is exactly what he was. He knew Google was going to happen. Of course he did. The Romans knew everything. So he knew. He just didn't know it's going to be called Google. What he was saying there was use Google properly. Don't be an idiot about it.
Yes. We have 3 or 4 minutes left, so I'd like to open this up to what I call Freedom Section.
Freedom Section, yes.
Where we discuss a topic of our choosing.
Well, freedom is actually a good first topic because to follow the Stoic teachings is to be free. Because one of the most important Stoic teachings is even if you throw me in jail and take away all of my rights, I am still a free man to think as I want to.
Yes.
So yes, you can bound my body. You can cut my hand off. You can cut. Seneca often talks about people having their heads cut off and saying, well, if that is your destiny to cut my head off, then it is my destiny to have my head cut off.
Very good.
And it's my freedom to choose that.
Yes.
And a lot of the tyrant kings of the time were utterly perplexed by the Stoics, who allowed themselves to be exiled, to be executed, with a smile on their face, and it perturbed these kings so much that ultimately that kind of thing ended their tyrannical rule. So freedom...
It took the power away.
You are always free as a Stoic, no matter what illness you have, no matter what slavery you're incorporated into. You can use Stoic teachings to be free, to be a free person, and just remember that everything that you do not own, such as your body, such as your health, such as your wealth, all of these things which you do not directly control but are given to you by life, are things that if you accept them as they are and don't think that they belong to you, you'll be a free person.
And Socrates, I believe, also ended his own life with a poison when it was decided that he was a tyrant. Again, another example of a brilliant, not Stoic, but a Hellenistic philosopher who chose to end his own life and took the ultimate choice for freedom. The one quick thing I want to ask before we end is, do you think Roman girls had 45-55s?
Oh, some of them were. I can just picture it now. I mean,
do you think they were very sexy?
I may have popped onto a couple of ex-hamster sites, namely ex-hamster because it's just one site, and had a look at that film that came out, the one about the Roman orgies.
Oh, yes.
Caligula.
Caligula. Calligraphy.
That was calligraphy. Yeah,
calligraphy. Cuneiforms.
You know, there were so many 45-55s. I didn't even know where to look. Well, I was looking at the 45-55s, obviously. Seneca just
there were 45 to 55 of them.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, there were anywhere between 45 and 55, 45-55s, and I had a great time doing it was a study. It was I'll call it a study. Call it a study.
Scientific.
And I came away with a full load of information.
And probably an empty load of balls.
Well, that was implied.
Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's fine.
Is that okay? We'll end it there.
I think that's probably a good place to end it.
I feel like you probably need to pop home.
I do need to pop home. I'm already home, but I will pop home a bit more.
Yeah. I'm going to go and sit in the toilet and just look at that video you mentioned.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah.
Tune in next time for the Stoicast.
The next episode, and we'll be here, both of us, doing it all again.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone. Love you.
Love you.